Welcome to the newest video in this series, How to Play 20 Strong Tanglewoods Red. Red is one of the 3 new decks available in the 20 Strong game system. This video will cover all of the new rules for Red, but I'd highly recommend checking out the first video in this series, How to Play 20 Strong Base Rules, to learn everything not covered here. Each of the Tanglewoods decks are unique, but they have some shared DNA. Here are a few new facets to be aware of as you venture through the Tanglewoods. Gold is a key element in the Tanglewoods, and you'll be using this dial to track it. When you begin a game in the red, gold, or white deck, you'll set your gold tracker to 20. Then subtract an amount equal to your chosen hero's total starting stats. For example, the universal hero, Snow White, has starting stats 3, 1, and 3, for a total of 7. 20 minus 7 leaves us with a starting gold total of 13. Additional gold can be earned in a variety of ways, but is typically gained by defeating enemies. The maximum amount of gold that you can hold at one time is 20. Gold can be used for a wide variety of effects, but is most often spent to bribe enemies or to purchase goods and services from the friendly, trustworthy merchant. Most non-boss enemies in the Tanglewoods can be bribed for the right price. If you find yourself with enemies in your active area, you can choose to bribe any number of them before engaging. To bribe an enemy, you simply lower your gold dial by the indicated amount on the enemy card. Once an enemy has been bribed, discard them to the appropriate discard pile. You haven't defeated the enemy, so you won't gain any rewards from them, nor will you trigger any items or effects that care about an enemy being defeated. Make sure to check the bribed enemy's effect area to see if there is any necessary follow-up. Gold isn't the only constant feature of these 3 decks. You'll also have to deal with the constant shifting nature of the Tanglewoods. This is represented by flipping. Enemies, paths, items, even your own hero. Most cards in the Tanglewoods will flip when certain conditions are met. These conditions are handled on a deck-by-deck and card-by-card basis, so I'll cover them more as we go. To begin setup for Tanglewoods Red, you'll want to separate all cards into the following piles: Heroes, Items, Wolf Pack, Forest cards, and Minion or Fable cards. You should also have a Merchant card and a Reference card. Choose a hero to play as in this adventure, and set them to whichever side you'd like them to start on. You may select a hero from the Tanglewoods Red deck, or any universal hero that you have access to. If you decide to bring a non-Tanglewoods universal hero into any Tanglewoods game, you'll be using the Brothers Grimm as that universal hero's backside. Be mindful of your hero's flip conditions, as some heroes may flip early and often. Return unused heroes to the box. Once you've chosen a hero, set your stat dice to match your hero's starting stats. Now set your starting gold to 20, minus the total of your hero's starting stats. Now we'll prepare the item deck. All items are double-sided with an ordinary side and an upgraded side. Make sure that all items are showing their ordinary side face up. For quick reference, the ordinary side will have a number in the bottom right. Shuffle the stack, set it nearby, and place the merchant card on top. Next, you'll grab your pile of forest cards and set them all with their daytime side face up. This is the lighter green side of the cards with the little sun icon in the corner. Remove the trailhead card and the Grandma's Cabin card from the deck and set them aside. Shuffle the remaining 15 forest cards and deal yourself a stack of 10. Place the Grandma's Cabin card on top of this stack. Set the trailhead card nearby. Return the other 5 cards to the box. Place your health die on the starting space. Now let's prepare the wolf deck. This deck is made up of 5 difficult enemies that, if left undefeated, will make your final fight harder. Grab all of your wolf pack cards and make sure they're wolf side up. Give them a shuffle and place the big bad wolf on top of the stack. Set the wolf deck nearby. Next, you'll grab your pile of minions. These cards are double-sided with minions on one side and fables on the other. Make sure all the cards in the deck are minion side up and give it a shuffle. Now place this pile near the bottom of your play space. Locate your character's strategy stat and reveal that many minions. This visible line of minions is referred to as the scouting line. This doesn't change what enemies you'll be facing, or the order that you'll be facing them, but it does let you plan for what's coming up. Any time that you increase your strategy stat, you'll immediately add another visible minion to the scouting line. Any time that your strategy stat is decreased, immediately remove the corresponding number of enemies from the scouting line. Now gather your 17 unit dice and place one of each color near the shop. This should leave you with 3 yellow dice, 3 green dice, 3 blue dice, 3 purple dice, and no red die. These 5 missing dice can be purchased from the merchant later. Set your reference card nearby so that you can easily interpret the different icons on your forest cards. The goal of the red deck is to traverse the Tanglewoods, passing through all 10 of your forest cards, before reaching Grandma's cabin and challenging the Big Bad Wolf. If you defeat the Big Bad Wolf, you win. If your health is ever reduced below 1, you lose. Now it's time to begin a game of Tanglewoods Red. At the start of each round, you have the option to explore. To explore, you'll choose up to 3 blue or yellow dice in any combination from your available dice. Then, one at a time, you'll roll each chosen die. On a hit, you'll draw a card from the bottom of the forest deck and place it on your path with the day side face up. On a crit, you'll follow the same process, but you'll also gain 1 gold. On a miss, you'll draw a card from the bottom of the forest deck and place it on your path with the night side face up. Any dice used for exploring become exhausted. After exploring, you can visit the merchant. When you visit the merchant in Tanglewoods Red, you'll draw 1 card from the bottom of the item deck per die that you just used to explore. These are the items available during this visit, and they can be purchased for their printed cost. These items may be enticing, but the merchant's shop also offers a variety of other goods and services that will help you in your journey. For 2 gold, you can recover your weakest exhausted die. For 3 gold, you can recover the weakest banished die. For 4 gold, you can upgrade an item. To do this, you'll choose an item in your inventory and flip it to its upgraded side. You can take any number of actions, any number of times at the merchant, provided that you have the gold to pay for those actions. Once you have skipped or completed the exploration step, it's time to move on to the next phase. During travel, you'll move your health die along one of the lines branching off of your current node to a connected node. You can only move 1 node, and you can only travel towards the top of the cards. As you travel to different nodes, it's important to be aware of what each symbol means. For this, you'll want to consult your handy reference card. First off is this inviting little cabin. This icon represents the beginning and end of your journey. Any nodes with this nasty looking fellow will result in a non-boss battle. To resolve a minion node, you'll draw the leftmost minion from the scouting line and add it to your active area. This is an enemy that you'll have to engage with before you continue your journey. Much like a standard 20 strong enemy, your minion will have a name, health stat, a damage stat, an effect, and a reward. But what's this little bag icon? That's how much gold it's going to take to make this minion look the other way. After you've added minions to your active area, you'll have a chance to bribe them before the engagement begins. Maybe this minion has a lot of health. Maybe it has a nasty effect. Whatever the case may be, you can pay the corresponding amount of gold and the problem will go away. Discard any bribed minions before proceeding to the engagement step. If there are any enemies remaining in the active area after the bribery step, you'll proceed to engagement. This plays out like a standard 20 strong engagement. If you'd like a refresher on how to engage with enemies, make sure to check out the first video in this series, How to Play 20 Strong Base Rules. Nodes with this nastier looking fellow will result in a wolf pack battle. The wolf pack are the big bad wolf's henchmen. These enemies are big and bad in their own right, but you'll want to challenge as many as you can before the final fight, or they'll add some pretty nasty modifiers to the endgame. These enemies are considered bosses in terms of game text, but will not trigger the endgame. When you arrive at a wolf node, you'll draw the bottom card of the wolf deck and add it to the active area. Proceed with bribery and engagement according to standard rules. If you're unable to defeat a wolf, you'll take damage and discard it normally. You won't gain its reward, but it will be removed from the pool and will not add any modifiers to the endgame. If you land on a wolf node and the wolf deck is empty, skip that node and move to the next connected one. Nodes with this book will cause you to draw and resolve a fable. Draw the bottom card of the minion deck, flip the card over, and resolve the fable. Discard the card once you've resolved it, unless the fable says otherwise. Nodes with the campfire symbol are a temporary respite from all this fighting. If you travel here, you'll get to increase one of your stats. If you choose to increase your strategy or recovery stat, you'll tick the corresponding die up by 1. If you choose to increase health, you'll tick the corresponding die up by 2. If there are no active enemies after resolving a node, you'll skip the bribery phase and the entire engagement, including dice recovery. All of these symbols can be modified. If a node has a plain old circle outline, it has no modifier. If a node has a square outline, it has the weary modifier. During this engagement, you will be considered to have one fewer strategy. Do not adjust your stat die. If a node has the dotted hexagon outline, it has the blighted modifier. All enemies in this engagement will have +2 health, +1 damage, and they can't be bribed. If a node has a hexagon with plus signs on it, you're about to run into a mob of additional enemies. Add one additional enemy to this engagement for each plus sign on the outline. This can range from 1 to 4 additional enemies. These enemies are added from the scouting line, just like normal enemies. If a node has a spiky outline, you're going to have to pay a toll. Before the engagement, you'll have to choose to either banish a die of your choice, or pay 2 gold. If a node has a circle outline made of arrows, you've just run into a trap. Roll a blue die. On a miss, you'll flip this forest card to its night side. On a hit, recover up to 2 dice. If your movement brings you to one of the 3 upper thresholds at the top of your current forest card, and there isn't another card in your path, you'll draw the bottom card of the forest deck and add it to your path on its nighttime side. If you would place a forest card, either through traveling or exploring, and the deck is empty, you'll place the Grandma's Cabin card. This card operates the same as any other forest card. Upon reaching the Grandma's Cabin node, you'll begin the endgame and challenge the Big Bad Wolf. The endgame battle is set up as follows. Place the Big Bad Wolf into the active area. Or, if you want an even bigger, badder challenge, you can flip him to his bigger, badder side. Activate any additional enemies that the modifier outline calls for. These additional enemies are pulled from the minion deck as they would be normally. Take all of the undefeated wolf cards remaining in the wolf deck and flip them over to their power-up sides. Add these to the active area. They will add additional wrinkles and obstacles to this final battle. Once you've set up the endgame, you'll proceed to the bribe step where you can bribe any additional enemies that were added. Once you've completed this step, you'll move on to the engagement. This engagement will proceed using standard 20-strong endgame rules, with 2 exceptions. During this battle, any hits applied to undefeated enemies are not exhausted between engagements. The conflict continues until all active enemies are defeated. If you manage to defeat the Big Bad Wolf and his minions, congrats, you've won. Whether or not you manage to defeat the Big Bad Wolf, make sure to check out the difficulty modifiers in the back of the rulebook. They offer a variety of ways to make this deck a bit easier or harder, depending on how you're feeling. And that's how to play Tanglewoods Red. If you found this video helpful, make sure to give it a like and check out the rest of this series if you'd like to learn how to play the rest of the 20-strong Tanglewoods decks.